A conversation about freedom, part two. This is a continuation to a conversation we had about 7 months ago. So, welcome back if you saw the first one. In the first one, we talked about how I was working on the foundation of my home, which basically resonated in all areas of my life, which was my relationship with God, which has been a constant in my life, and it's had its high highs, it's had its low lows. I've had my church hurt. If you've seen this series before, you'll understand where I'm coming from. I started this actually like 2 or 3 years ago, and every few months or so, I decide to sit down and just have a conversation with you guys about life, about what I've been learning, about where I'm growing, about where I see myself, the trajectory of, hopefully the plans that we create, right? As we make plans, God laughs at them and He directs you a completely other way sometimes. But I've grown in these past 7 months. I've grown a lot. I became more honest with myself. I became, this is disgusting, a mosquito. Tried to get in my coffee, disrupting this conversation. But those 7 months ago, or in these 7 months, I've definitely done a lot of the things that I said I was going to, which was get closer to Christ, get closer to God. And I feel like finally I found a good connect group, right? And I've had great connect groups over the years. Shout out Adam for never giving up on me, him and his wife. Happens to be Jecca's cousin. So funny, small world in Miami. And Pastor Phil and some other pastors that they might not know how much they influenced my life in my local church, Calvary, Miami. Their seed that they planted over these years, right, definitely helped flourish into the man I am today, right? So now I'm finally at a great connect group with other married couples, and I realized that this kind of like version of a Christian that I had made in my mind, right? It's not necessarily or wasn't necessarily the healthiest or the best version of what a Christian should have lived. So for a long time, I pushed people away if they weren't aligned with my beliefs. And I didn't believe so much in depression. I didn't believe so much in mental breakdowns. I thought everything was spiritual. And I overly spiritualized everything to the point that, I reached a disagreement with the church I was at for almost 10 years. And I left, and then I wasn't really attending a home for a few years. And it's funny because like I was off and on going to Calvary, but I wasn't like serving the local church. And my heart has always been to serve the local church. I went through my own things, which led to the first conversation of this. And thankfully now, years later, like I'm here, I'm fully attending. I'm looking to serve in the media ministry because I want to be of service to God. I want to put to death lust. I want to put to death abusing alcohol or any kind of vice, right? Like I've never been a person, thank God, I've never been a person that's been consumed by vices, but I've definitely had my moments of temptations or my moments of, had one too many drinks, right? It's happened to a lot of us, right? And then we act crazy or foolish or, we're just having fun in the moment. But when you cleanse and you refrain from all these things, right? Like I personally right now, I'm not going to be consuming alcohol. I don't want to right now. I want to take the rest of the year. And we'll see how long this goes. But I've been a pretty responsible drinker. I've had my moments where I think a lot of us have exceeded our limits. But definitely, I want to be a better example. I want to be a better believer. And I want to be more vulnerable, more open with you guys. And I love that I worked on the foundation of my home. I'm getting ready to do another project for something that's going on behind the scenes, but I can't really share. It's more of a personal matter, but it's exciting, it's good. And I'm so happy to see where God has taken me through, right? I'm so content because I've gone through the darkness, I've gone through the hardships, right? And it's not like everything is together, right? Like there's still things I wish were different, right? There's still lessons to be learned, and every day I'm learning lessons. But what I'm definitely so fond of is that Christ has never given up on me. My wife has never given up on me. My son, I sometimes, I had this conversation with my wife yesterday about sometimes I feel like people don't understand and see the value I bring to the table. And sometimes I'm not very good at defending myself, right? Because I felt like for a long time, I just wasn't mature enough, or I couldn't speak up. It might have had to do with my upbringing, with the more like just work hard and be quiet, and you know your work will speak for itself kind of mindset. And for a long time, I feel like people have built this old version of who I was, right? And they don't understand the weight that I carry now, right? Like I have a mortgage, I own a property, I keep up with the landscape. I have a cat, she's walking around. Well, now she's napping, but I have a cat, I have a dog, I have a son, I have a wife, a mortgage. Like I'm a man, like I'm a full-blown man, 32 years old. I do taxes, I budget, I pay bills, I plan for trips, I plan for outings, I plan for my music career. I'm trying to build a company. Like there's so many things going on in my life, career, family. And oftentimes I feel like people have still kept that old version of who I was, right? And I'm not a child, I'm not a teen anymore, I'm a grown man. And the conversations that I talk about now are so different, right? And the people I'm surrounding myself with now, I think are more aligned towards where I want to be. And shout out my friend Ilish, man. That's my brother, man. I love Ilish so much. I love to see his growth in the gym, right? Like naturally and spiritually. Like he's been a testimony to me and a few other friends, right, who have been an encouragement to me, right, where I felt kind of ashamed because of the mistakes I made in the past to come back to serving God and serving in the local church, right? Like I feel like I was still serving God with my family and still trying to go to church, but I wasn't physically serving the local church. And that's where I want to get to next. That's the trajectory of where I would love to be next, right? It's get back into that. Because I did it for 10 years and I haven't done it for the past, since the pandemic. So let's say 5, 6 years. But now I'm finally getting back to a place where I said, you know what? I don't want to consume alcohol right now because I want to be the best version of myself. I want to cleanse my mind, my spirit. Um, and we're going to take the rest of this year to do that. Cleanse myself from everything that's bad, from lust, even trying to fix my For You page, right? Like there's so many crazy recommendations that come up, even on Facebook. Like who even uses Facebook really, right? But even on there, you scroll through 3 things and it's already like lust. So it's like limiting the consumption of things around us that like disrupts our dopamine and our attention levels. So I'm really excited to see how like the journey's gonna unfold, right? And I'm so grateful that you guys have tagged along with me because I've never been vulnerable, right? Behind the scenes I have been. Like if you know me on a personal level, like I'm a very attentive person. I'm very like I like to do acts of love. So I like to serve people. You know, if you've ever been at my home and I've hosted you, or I've ever visited someone, you know that that's my heart. It's to serve people. It's not something that like I can even explain. It's just something that's in me naturally. Like, oh, did you guys eat? Or are you guys hungry? Or you guys want to get something to drink or whatever? Like that's always kind of been my heart behind things, is sharing. Because, you know, growing up, I was like an only child and I always dreamed of having like a sibling my age. My siblings are my half siblings and they're like much older than me. So I've always had that like heart to try to share with people and be around people. So I want to bring that now even into my adulthood. Like I feel like I'm speaking to the younger version of myself. Like, hey, like, bro, we're gonna get through it. Like if I could speak to my younger self, it's like, we're gonna get through it. You're gonna go through some things you don't like. You're gonna go through some things that's gonna force you to grow up. And you gotta learn to fight for your peace, fight for your family. And if I could leave you guys on that note, it's that same way I would tell the younger me is fight for your peace, fight for your family, give up vices that distract you and take away time from God, take away time from bringing out the best version of yourself. And you know, focus, you know, get a whiteboard, set a vision, and ask God to guide it, to bless it, to lead you, you know, and He'll lead you. And I feel like that's where I'm at with my life. It's like I cannot do anything outside of the will of God. And if He doesn't bless it or He's not on it, I want nothing to do with it. That's the lesson I'm still constantly learning every day. And also just learning to be content with what you have at that moment in life. So I've always tried to be honest and in what area I was in my life. And as I'm getting ready to drop this album finally free, we're only right now on the date of posting this, we're about a couple weeks out before it drops. But I want to let you guys know that you're getting the good, the bad, the ugly. And towards the ending of the album, the last like two songs, taking you towards the trajectory of where I want to go. Said I'm nothing without God. He is my refuge. He is who I cling on to. He's the one who guides me, and reading his word, teaching my son about his word, like surrounding myself with people who are like-minded. And that's what this album's about. That's what Finally Free is about, is free from the expectations of those around me, free from that burden of, you know, like I mentioned in prior videos, that church hurt, overcoming that church hurt and finding myself in a healthy place, surrounding myself with like-minded people, and finally free of even my own self-sabotage. I think that I sabotaged myself for a long time. I blamed myself. I'm super hyper critical on myself. And sometimes I didn't give myself grace. I didn't forgive myself oftentimes. Like I was quick to forgive others, but wasn't quick to forgive myself. And like I forgive my old me. I accept Christ's forgiveness over me. And this Finally Free album is just that, is a new chapter walking into. And then hopefully the next journey after this is going to be amazing. And I can't wait for you guys to tag along with me. I just want to let you know I always appreciate and love your support. So, peace and love.